Jason, a hard-working man with mounting bills and a struggling small business, offered help to a stranded veteran on the side of the road. The veteran's car had broken down, and without hesitation, Jason stepped in to lend a hand. What Jason didn't know was that his simple act of kindness would lead to something far beyond his expectations. The very next day, a mysterious gift appeared on his porch, marking the beginning of a life-changing journey. Hi everyone, welcome to Mystic Tales. Today, I'm excited to share a new story. Jason lived a simple life in a small town. He ran a small business, working long hours to make ends meet. Lately, things had been tough. The bills were piling up, and his business wasn't doing as well as it once had. Despite this, Jason had always believed in helping others whenever he could. He felt that, no matter how hard things got, it was important to show kindness. One cold afternoon, while driving home from work, Jason saw a car pulled over on the side of the road. As he got closer, he noticed a man standing by the car, looking under the hood. The man was older, dressed in a worn-out jacket, with a look of frustration on his face. Jason pulled over without a second thought. He rolled down his window and asked, "Need some help?" The man, who introduced himself as Henry, explained that his car had broken down. He had been trying to get it started for hours but had no luck. Henry was a veteran, and it was clear that he had seen tough times. His hands were shaking from the cold, and his voice was tired. Jason knew he couldn't just drive away. Jason offered to take a look at the car. Though he wasn't a mechanic, he had some basic knowledge of cars and wanted to help. After a while, Jason figured out what was wrong and managed to get the engine running again. Henry was relieved. He thanked Jason over and over, explaining how much this meant to him. He had been on his way to visit family he hadn't seen in years, and without Jason's help, he would have been stranded for who knows how long. Jason smiled and waved it off. "I'm just glad I could help," he said. Little did he know, that small gesture would change his life in ways he could never have imagined. The next morning, Jason went about his usual routine. He woke up early, made himself a cup of coffee, and checked his work emails. It was another day, just like any other. Or so he thought. As he stepped outside to grab the mail, something caught his eye. There, sitting on his porch, was a small, neatly wrapped package. Jason didn't recall ordering anything, and he wasn't expecting any deliveries. He picked it up, feeling the weight of the box in his hands. There was no note attached, no indication of where it came from or who had sent it. Curious, he brought the package inside and carefully unwrapped it. Inside, he found a plain wooden box, old and polished, with a slight shine. Jason opened it slowly, revealing something unexpected in an envelope, and under it, a shiny gold coin. The coin looked ancient, its surface worn but still gleaming in the light. Jason wasn't sure what to make of it. He unfolded the envelope and found a handwritten note inside. The note read, "Thank you for your kindness. This is just a small token of my gratitude. You never know how much one good deed can change someone's life." There was no signature, just those simple words. Jason sat back, trying to process what had just happened. His mind immediately went to the veteran he had helped the day before. Could this be from him? But how would Henry have known where Jason lived? And why the coin? None of it made sense. He turned the coin over in his hand, feeling the cool metal against his skin. Jason didn't recognize the design or the markings on it. It looked valuable, maybe even ancient, but he had no way of knowing for sure. He wondered if this was some sort of thank you gift, but the mystery surrounding it only grew. Jason felt a strange sense of excitement mixed with confusion, and something told him that this was just the beginning of something much bigger. Jason couldn't stop thinking about the gift. He spent the rest of the day trying to figure out where the coin came from and what it meant. His curiosity led him to search online, trying to find anything that looked similar to the coin he now held. He found a few old coins that resembled it, but nothing quite like the one in his possession. The more he looked at it, the more he realized this coin might be worth something. Maybe it was valuable, but why would someone give it to him? And how did it end up on his porch so mysteriously? That evening, as Jason sat on his couch, he thought back to his encounter with Henry. He remembered the way Henry had looked at him with gratitude, the way he had shaken his hand and thanked him again and again. Could Henry have left this coin as a way of saying thanks? It seemed unlikely, but Jason couldn't shake the feeling that Henry had something to do with it. The next morning, Jason decided to visit the local coin shop. He wanted to get an expert's opinion on the coin. Maybe they could tell him more about it. The shop owner, a man named Mr. Grant, was known in town for his knowledge of rare and antique items. When Jason showed him the coin, Mr. Grant's eyes widened. "Where did you get this?" Mr. Grant asked, holding the coin up to the light. Jason explained the mysterious package that had appeared on his porch, leaving out the details about Henry. He didn't want to mention anything he wasn't sure about. Mr. Grant examined the coin closely, running his fingers over the worn edges and inspecting the strange symbols. "This is old, very old," Mr. Grant said slowly. "It's a rare coin, probably from an ancient civilization, and if I'm not mistaken, it's worth quite a lot of money." Jason was stunned. He had figured the coin was special, but he hadn't expected this. He asked Mr. Grant how much the coin might be worth, but the shop owner shook his head. "I can't say for sure without doing more research, but it could easily be worth thousands, maybe even more. Whoever gave you this knew exactly what they were doing." Jason walked out of the shop in disbelief. Thousands of dollars for one simple act of kindness. It didn't seem real, but the more he thought about it, the more he realized that this gift, mysterious as it was, could be a blessing in disguise. Jason left the coin shop with a mix of disbelief and gratitude. As he walked back to his car, he couldn't help but think about how strange all of this was. He had helped a man with a broken-down car. It's a simple act of kindness, nothing out of the ordinary. And now, he held a coin that could be worth thousands of dollars. The rest of the day, Jason went about his usual routine, but his mind kept drifting back to the coin and the mysterious note. Why had this happened to him? And was there more to this than he understood? That night, as he sat at his kitchen table, Jason thought about what he should do next. He knew that selling the coin could help him pay off his debts and give his business a much-needed boost. But something about the whole situation made him hesitate. It wasn't just about the money. It was about the meaning behind the gift. The next day, Jason decided to take a drive. He found himself heading toward the place where he had helped Henry, hoping to find some answers. As he drove along the quiet road, he replayed the events of that afternoon in his mind. Had Henry really been the one to leave the gift? And if so, why such a valuable token? When Jason reached the spot where Henry's car had broken down, he pulled over and stepped out. The road was empty, the cold wind biting at his face. Jason stood there for a few minutes, looking around, hoping to see some sign of Henry. But there was nothing. Just the quiet, empty road stretching out in both directions. Jason sighed and got back into his car. As he drove home, he realized that he might never get the answers he was looking for. But maybe that was okay. Maybe the gift was meant to be a mystery. A reminder that sometimes acts of kindness come back to us in ways we can't explain. By the time Jason arrived home, he had made a decision. He would sell the coin and use the money to turn his life around. But he would also remember the lesson he had learned. That a simple act of kindness can have far-reaching consequences, even if we don't understand them at the time. As he pulled into his driveway, Jason noticed something on his porch. Another package, small and neatly wrapped, just like before. His heart raced as he approached it, wondering what could possibly be inside this time. Jason picked up the new package, feeling a familiar mix of curiosity and excitement. He carefully brought it inside, setting it down on the kitchen table. His hands trembled slightly as he unwrapped it, revealing yet another wooden box. This one was slightly larger than the first, but just as polished and well made. Opening the box, Jason found another note inside, along with a smaller, sealed envelope. The note was brief, written in the same handwriting as before. "You have shown kindness where it was needed most, and now kindness comes back to you. Inside this envelope is a gift that will open new doors. Use it well and never forget the power of compassion." Jason's pulse quickened as he opened the envelope. Inside, he found a check, made out to him for a large sum of money, far more than he could have imagined. Enough to not only pay off his debts but to completely transform his life. He stared at the check in disbelief, the numbers blurring in his vision as he tried to make sense of it all. He sat back, feeling a mix of gratitude and shock. The veteran Henry had left him not just a token of appreciation but a life-altering gift. Jason realized that this was more than just a reward for helping someone. It was a message. A reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness could ripple out and come back in ways he could never predict. Over the next few days, Jason used the money to pay off all his debts and invest in his struggling business. Things quickly turned around for him. His business started to thrive, and for the first time in years, he felt a sense of financial security and peace. But more than the money, Jason carried with him the lesson he had learned. Every time he looked at the coin, which he had decided to keep as a reminder, he thought about Henry and the mysterious way life had rewarded his simple gesture of kindness. Jason never saw Henry again. The veteran seemed to have vanished as quickly as he had appeared. But the impact of their brief encounter stayed with Jason forever. It wasn't about the money, it was about the unexpected power of helping others. Jason knew that he would continue to show kindness wherever he could, because he had learned that one small act could change everything.